In this video, we're going to focus on the apology that Nicki Minaj issued to Culture. All right. And then we'll dissect that and then everything Cardi did to respond to that. So please make sure to like the video and all of that good stuff. And yeah, we're going to start off with before Nicki went to the apology, though, because it's going to set up the point that she was trying to make, right, in doing all of this. So it says, Dear Black woman, I can guarantee you that hoe will never get on my net and discuss another Black baby ever again. I can guarantee you that hoe will never ever call Black women roaches and monkeys again. Someone had to do it. It's funny how all the other queens stayed silent while she mocked my son for years. What other queens? So here are screenshots that a fan tweeted, which Nicki interacted with every time that Cardi was doing something questionable. So here she's calling a baby a chimpanzee. She says, "Bitch, I ain't had to search hard. Your main pick is wild. You just ugly. You look like a burned roach. Fix that dusty ass weave and grow your edges. Then talk to me ugly, looking like a fucking roach. You must be working real hard arguing with my fans on Twitter for hours. Bitch, matter made what? Your daughter, okay." Yeah, so this is what things that Cardi said back in the day. Nicki reposted it. So then she talks about Desiree Perez and her daughter. We'll get to that in another video. Republic Records, we'll definitely get to that in another video. More religion in another video. White artists, another video. Okay, so here is where shit starts. So it says, all jokes aside, I want to put my intellectual hat for a second and make a very critical point. Nicki is highlighting the hypocrisy of the public's reaction, given Cardi's past comments on other people's children and her racial discrimination on Black women as a Latina individual. Nicki's comments about Cardi's children seem to be a deliberate attempt to expose the double standard among many other things, not limited to Cardi speaking on Nicki's child for years with no public outrage or scrutiny. Let's be honest here. Cardi has faced minimal to no backlash for her past racist remarks, including using derogatory language towards Black women and children despite giving birth to Black daughters, not realizing that the same privilege she has had as a Latina woman and benefit from, her daughters will not, and to have to face the same racial disparities as Black girls and women one day that she inflicts on other Black women and children. By mirroring this behavior, Nicki is forcing the public to confront their own hypocrisy, question their morals, and answer why some comments are deemed more egregious than others. I call it a morality check. So Nicki, puts a thought cloud there. That is what her point is. Papa Bear is really smarter than Barney B. Cardi is quiet at this point, right? So Nicki says, I don't explain myself, but on a rare blue moon, I do it for my supporters and them only. Number one, they're doing this to chart a song, as in her ops, as in Cardi B. They're doing this to chart a song. Number two, I'm doing this to chart their patterns, or should I say, to confirm the patterns I've already charted on their graph. Hope this helps. On that note, peace. So I thought Nicki was done, right? There's always tomorrow, though. Y'all were never satisfied when I told y'all to stop the Barney from yapping. Now you learn. We finna sit back and laugh tonight and every night hereafter. I knew you'd think of a distraction, though. I like this one, though, so I'll play the game with y'all. Not really sure who she's responding to there. So here is Nicki responding. She says, Dear Culture, truth is, I did all of this for a bigger purpose, and one day you'll understand. You're a cute child and lots of kids have cute little funny looking gums before they grow into all of their features. Now, I want everyone to give their raw reactions to this apology when you were first reading it, regardless of who you're a fan of, right? So it says, one day you'll see this, so I have to say I apologize. As a child of God and queen of my community who look to me for integrity, you're an innocent child and don't deserve any of this. One day, your mother, aunt, and many more will be brought to their knees for what they have said and tried to do to my young prophet and beautiful boy. Take care, my darling. This isn't who I am. So for me, it's not hitting. It wasn't hitting. Because it's like after 2 days of dragging Culture and calling her a monkey and a roach and all of these anti-Black things is when she comes for an apology. And then, like, see, the thing is after 2 days, right? If it was after one day, okay, cool. But it's like you had a day and you went to sleep and woke up the next day and continued the same behavior, right? It got worse. You call culture worse things, because if you had an inkling that, you know what, this is not right, apology would and should have came sooner. Anyway, the first line, dear culture, truth is I did all of this for a bigger purpose and one day you'll understand. Okay, you're a cute kid and lots of kids have cute little funny looking gums before they grow into all of their features. So she actually throws a backhanded insult before the actual apology even comes, because there's that sentence. Then right after that, she says, one day you'll see this, so I have to say I apologize. But just before you apologize, you once again said a lot of kids have cute, funny looking little gums before they grow into all of their features. And that is true, right? Like, shit, I was looking crazy as a little kid or whatever. But at the end of the day, if your main goal here is to apologize, you should have apologized and kept it at that. No, nothing else. Because to me, the damage that you have caused is greater than literally anything else, like literally anything else. So, like many other people, Cardi was not feeling this and she came back. And I really, really wish you hadn't, Cardi. Like, I really wish you would have stopped responding and kept it at that. Because once again, like I literally just said, a lot of people picked apart Nicki's apology and they wasn't feeling it. So you was still having the upper hand there. So there was literally nothing that you had to say. Nothing. But I'm not a mother, but I could guess I could understand that a mother, regardless of if you apologizing, you put a little insult there, and I'm not letting that slide. Like I'm not letting nothing slide. Either way, I'm just a different type of bitch than all of you other bitches, and I still wouldn't have said nothing. I probably would have kept like Nicki on red this whole time for her to look crazy. All right, like that's how you win. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. Anyway, Cardi comes back and says, "Dear Papa Perk, wrong. I'm sorry that your mommy haven't cut your birthday cake for the past 3 days because she can't take my success or happiness. One day you're going to grow up, and I hope you understand when a girl says no, it means no, and you can overcome the pedophilia blood you inherited from your grandfather, father, and uncle. All right, Cardi. Please don't hate me when you grow up because your mommy rather give me more attention than she gives you. Hopefully, when somebody that really cares about her puts her in rehab and gets her the help she needs, she come out and read you a book." Listen, Cardi, you dead wrong, because yeah, Nicki has a lot of questionable people in her life, from her brother to her husband and what she chooses to marry and what she chooses to defend. We can all agree with that, but that is something. Don't put that on a child. Don't put that on a child. Keep that way far away from the child, for real, for real. But at this point, she is going low. Both of them are going low to hurt each other, right? And it is just disgusting. It's just disgusting. And unfortunately, Cardi wasn't done there. She says, "Don't give my child," and I would appreciate if she would just said this and kept it at that. "Don't give my child no backhanded apology. Keep my child's name out your mouth because I'm going to always take you where you don't want to go about mine. Honest truth, this going back and forth about my kids is really draining my energy. I don't want to keep mentioning kids. It feels very nasty and dark, but the energy you keep giving my kids, I'm going to resend back to Messenger." That was indeed Cardi's last time responding to Nicki, and thank you so fucking much, because you did not have to. Like, like you had already had the upper hand there. And once again, Cardi also went low in her response that I really didn't like it, referring to the pedophilia or allegedly whatever, and Papa Bear having remnants of that and knowing when to, use consent in the future when he is getting with women and stuff like that. And now we're just sexualizing little kids, and that is just no. Like it's a no all over the place. Now, like, let's get back on Nicki. All in all, and I really appreciate you, if you still here with me, please like the video and all that good stuff, because I could talk about this for days. I know this shit is over, and I know we actually want to stop talking about it, but unfortunately, while this was really popping off, I was so overwhelmed. I also wasn't feeling well, which is why I wasn't dropping as much as I really wanted to. But there's a lot of things here that I really don't want to let slide. And this is one of them. And if I have to talk about this on Patreon, I definitely will, if y'all want to be done with it. All right. So anyway, let's keep going. Is Nicki's apology genuine? No, I do not think so at all. I think that Nicki was just trying to save face because she was getting dragged very, very badly. And for all of the barbs who was like, oh, like, I'm on TikTok and everybody on TikTok is on Nicki's side. Absolutely not, bitch. Because guess guess who else was on TikTok, bitch? I was on TikTok, and I ain't seen not one video being on Nicki's side. So y'all need to stop letting y'all algorithms give you what you think reflects the GP and what people think in real life. Okay. I never said that everybody's on Cardi's side, because child, your algorithm is going to show you what you want to see. Okay. So we still have to see, like how this is really going to affect both of their careers or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm not feeling Nicki's apology. No, I'm not feeling Cardi's response. I think she should have, number one, never responded to Nicki, but she should have said, if she wanted to say something, don't give my child no backhanded apology, because come on. And another thing we need to talk about is Nicki, her whole point about this was teaching Cardi how it feels to be racist and have racial insults thrown at people that you love, and your kids that are not black. And okay, cool. Do I feel like Nicki needed to do this to teach Cardi that lesson? Absolutely not. Right? Cardi definitely still is ignorant, whatever you want to call it, back in those days, and going absolutely low for no reason. I've said in several videos that Cardi definitely has anger issues, and she needs to go and get that checked out. Cardi needs therapy. Cardi and Nicki need help just as much, like the same, amount. And so my thing is that Nicki, you didn't have to do that to teach Cardi a lesson, because in teaching Cardi a lesson, you hurt her daughter, and you only kept it on her daughters. And I need you to explain me to that why you only kept it on culture. And the first time you referred to culture, and you said, and your sister. What about Cardi's sons? Why are you always so focused on women? Like, that's something that really needs to be broken down also, like in therapy and stuff like that. I'm going to break that down though, behind the scenes on Patreon and stuff like that. But I do not feel like you needed to do this in order to quote unquote teaching Cardi a lesson. I believe that Cardi learned her lesson once she had her kids, because now she understands, okay, what I did in the past was wrong. My children are now black or whatever. So no, I don't feel like Nicki needed to do this. Every time I talk, it's facts. In doing this, you cause irreparable harm on yourself and to that child. And also, I actually want to address the fans now, because while Nicki was dragging Cardi, what were y'all doing? Y'all were in the comments and on Twitter egging Nicki on, and also dragging culture as well. Y'all were doing that. And all of a sudden now, when Nicki apologizes, it's, oh my God, oh, the queen is so genuine and this and that. And I always knew the queen's heart. But y'all was just on 100. Y'all was just on go with her as well. So it honestly shows a lot of y'all hypocrisy. There were some barbs on the timeline that I saw calling Nicki out and calling that behavior out, talking about, I can't support this X, Y, and Z. People even left the fan base and deactivated their accounts and stuff like that. And that's shit that I could fuck with, because regardless of who you are a fan of, damn, like, you let your fanhood dictate your actual morals. Y'all don't got no morals and values. That's what this whole back and forth exchange showed. And it's like, I can't no longer associate myself with stan culture. I mean, child, we've been getting away from it, but goddamn, it's like y'all play follow the leader. It is so disgusting to me. And then on the other side, y'all are like, oh, even if Nicki apologized, they're still dragging her. So it doesn't matter if she apologizes or not. They're still not going to accept the apology. Well, how about you didn't do that in the first place? Because that was unnecessary to teach Cardi whatever lesson you was trying to get across. And number two, see, the thing is, Nicki is always like trying to make a point and teach somebody a lesson and going all the way around the world to do it. Bitch, just say what it is you want to say. Stop beating around the bush. Because all of this beating around the bush and doing all of this X, Y, and Z, bitch, all it's doing is digging your grave deeper. And I don't understand how you could be talking about God and Jesus and you're so holy and this and that. Meanwhile, you are dragging another woman's child. That is what I don't understand. That is what I don't fuck with. So you cannot sit here and tell me that you are so anointed and, oh, I'm so happy and I'm so this and I'm so that. Absolutely not. I'm gonna do a therapy session for Nicki, because clearly Cardi's presence in the game has broken Nicki to her core, right? To where, like, you got to do all of this, you got to go so low because you feel like Cardi is so fraudulent and so X, Y, and Z, and the industry is so against you. So you had to come at her kid, because even if you wanted to go at Cardi for her comments on album sales and the competition of the game, and all of that is totally fine, what did Cardi's comments on these children have to do with your issues with her right now? What had Cardi said about your kid right now that you had to respond to right now? Absolutely nothing. These are grievances that Nicki has held against Cardi for all these years since she's had fame and since she's been in the game. That's all this represents to me. This is not about trying to teach Cardi a lesson. Absolutely not. You are masking your real feelings and your real motive for doing all of this with teaching Cardi a lesson on colorism. That's what it is for me. So I will be discussing maybe on Patreon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that for Patreon. Cardi alleging things that's going on in Nicki's household with her husband. And at this point, shit is popping off on Twitter in Nicki's camp. Allegedly, a fan who was working for her is no longer working for her, could have been spilling her tea to Cardi and stuff like that. Who knows? But it's also interesting how all of that is happening right after this whole back and forth all week with Cardi. So it's definitely something is definitely connected and stuff like that. But yeah, and I want to get back onto the point I was making with, oh, it would have people would have dragged Nicki whether she apologized or not, or people don't appreciate Nicki's apology. No, not when it's backhanded. Not when it's backhanded. She should have apologized and kept it at that. Wrote something heartfelt and kept it at that. And honestly, I don't think that I would have even thought that even if she did that, that her apology was genuine once again. Why? Because she drag culture went to sleep, woke up the next day and dragged her again. You should have gotten up the next day and been like, if it was really against your morals, you should have been like, nah, like that wasn't cool, like after sleeping. But no, you did it for 2 days before you came with an apology. No, absolutely not. And I will be discussing Nicki's relationship to Black women also on Patreon as well. It's really a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. I know this video was super long, but if you got through it with me, thank you so much. I hope that nobody is defending anybody. I do look forward to your comments, questions, and concerns. I appreciate you for coming through, for trusting me with your information and to break this down and stuff like that. So much more to talk about. And I will see you guys on Patreon. Peace.
It's your girl Vina Love, the Harlem Princess, your favorite princess, and this is Destiny V. Love.
Period.